With martini in hand, I'm your host, Gary Chambers. Welcome to the Mouse Lounge.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Here age relives fond memories of the past. And here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future.
We're starting this off with a row and a lark and a laugh. It's currently 7:30 on Sunday evening. I don't know if Liana is into her second glass of wine, but I certainly am. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Behind the Mickey Bar. It's been a while, hasn't it, Liana?
It has. It's just been so wrong.
And
so wrong. The masses have been clamoring.
The masses have been clamoring?
Yes.
Does that mean I have cancer?
Huh?
My masses are clamoring?
No. They're just, they miss us.
Oh, you mean our fans?
Mm-hmm.
To both of you, thank you for sticking with us. We really do appreciate it. A lot has happened since the last time I was on the air. I don't think I've made it any big secret that a lot of changes are afoot in Gary's life, which is the only reason that I haven't been on the air doing what I so love to do on a daily basis. I've participated in something that has to do with the Mouse Lounge, but the website has been sorely neglected. The updates have just ceased. My Facebook posts have completely stopped, and it's a temporary thing, because I haven't lost my passion for what I'm doing. The Mouse Lounge is still very much in the forefront of my mind. But as some podcasters have said in the past, life tends to get in the way from time to time, and life has certainly gotten in the way. But the changes that are happening are very positive. I'm very enthusiastic with the direction my life is taking and my wife is taking. And details will be forthcoming on a future show. But in the meantime, so much has gone on, especially here on the West Coast, that I took time out of my very insanely busy schedule for Liana and I to sit down and Skype together about the opportunities and the beauty and the fun that is the new Carsland and Buena Vista Street in Disney California Adventure. And we'll also have to touch upon your take on Brave. So, folks, this is really just an excuse for me to press the go button and let Liana take us behind the Mickey Bar, which is really a behind-the-scenes tour of Carsland. So, Liana, you've been the last 2 weekends. Last weekend, which was, let's get the calendar out. What weekend was that? That would be the weekend of the 16th.
First weekend after opening.
Right. It opened on the 15th, and the 16th is when you were there, and you were again there yesterday, and you took Mark and Lily with you.
Right.
Okay, so...
Yes, so the first time I got to go on my own and do the heavy geeking out. Because, as most of the listeners know, when I do lots of different types of trips. Sometimes I do trips by myself. Sometimes I do trips with friends. Sometimes I do trips with family. But I did have the opportunity on that Saturday to go by myself. And, I really felt like I was missing out because I didn't go to any of the previews. I didn't, really, get to have an opportunity to go see Carsland before the public. So I was feeling like, I was missing out. So
now, is there kind of an advantage to that, though? Because
no, not for me. I got to know all. I'm the type of girl that if I know where the Christmas presents are, I'm looking.
Okay.
I have to know all. So I felt like I was kicking myself, feeling like, why didn't I go to the previews? Because I just felt like it was going to be so ridiculous crowded once it opened to the public.
Now, the presents that are under the tree or hidden somewhere in a drawer, in this case, to use your analogy, did you peek behind the wall? Did you actually go into the Sun Wheel, now the Mickey Wheel, and peer into Carsland as it was under construction?
I looked on every single website weekly to see all of the updates. And it's been kind of almost the end of an era type thing, because a lot of the websites do weekly construction updates for California Adventure. So
you need a new
now that
obsession.
so now that this huge phase is over, it's over. So yes, I have been following everything. And then once the previews began, I know the big, websites like Mouse Planet and Mice Age weren't able to post a lot of the things that they were able to get during those previews. I think they gave, what do you call it, embargo? And after a certain date, then they could post their pictures.
Oh, you mean like a gag order where they cannot disclose what they were seeing or taking pictures of until a certain date.
Right. So when that was lifted, even more came out. And I did post on my Facebook page, I believe, an awesome video that Mice Age put out. One of their readers put out, a lovely video of Buena Vista Street, because even though I was going to get to go, relatively soon, within the next couple of days, I still wanted to try to, see what I could see beforehand. And so I was very, very excited.
Now that you actually went, did looking at all the previews, the pictures and the videos that were being posted everywhere, did that ruin or lessen the experience of going and seeing it in person yourself?
For me, no. But for some people, it does. I mean, it's everyone's individual, taste. There are some people that like to, read articles and things that are spoiler free. And I'm like, no. I want to see it all. Like, I even saw a ride through of Radiator Springs Racers on YouTube before I went, and it was so. I was.
It just primes the pump, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I was so tickled because my husband called me at work one day and he said, have you seen this video? And I said, yeah, I saw it. So he got on his phone while he was on the phone with me on his iPhone and started watching it. And he was like, wow. I got to go tell my coworker. And off he went. And I'm like, oh, yay. I love it when he geeks out.
Yeah, when he's vested, that rare moment where Mark goes, hey, I can do this.
So I went home that day and went on YouTube through my Wii. You know how you can connect to the internet through your Wii, and I got it on our TV. And I went to YouTube and I showed it to Lily, the ride through, and it was really cool to see it up on our big, huge TV. And so yes, I am the type that has to know all and all the spoilers and everything. So I was very, very excited to go, and I had heard that it was ridiculous crowded opening day, and that there were even lines to get into the stores to shop. So I was like, wow. So it's so
crowded, I can't go anywhere. I can't wait.
Yeah, it was just insane. So I went on Saturday and I had dinner reservations with our friend Daniel.
Yes,
he had made dinner reservations at Carthay Circle Theater.
Right.
So I knew that it was going to be insane, but I thought, you know what? Go with no goals. Just go, walk around, experience, and then have dinner. So I decided, as it got closer, well, maybe I can have one goal. And my one goal was to be able to ride Radiator Springs Racers, which is the, e-ticket attraction in Carsland. So I got up early, and there are very few things I willingly get up early for, because I am not a morning person. It is never a good morning.
Not until you've had your coffee.
I'm just not a morning person. I don't like coffee. Maybe that's my problem. If I got into coffee, maybe I'd be a little bit more chipper.
Well, maybe next time I see you, we have to have an early morning rise to get to what we're doing. I'll slip you a 5-hour energy or something.
Those I have used, yes.
You had a Red Bull in your pocket.
Yeah, that could be an option. But so I got up early. The park opened at 8, and I'm normally about an hour and a half from the parks, but I knew that going that early, I would be able to get there within an hour. So I left home at 6:30, got there at 7:30, and there was a crowd. There was quite the crowd, but not as bad as I thought. But even so, I was like, oh, there's other crazies like me here. Duh. So, but it was great. The cast members were like, okay, you guys ready to have an adventure? And they counted down and they opened the gates and, everybody rushed in, and I blew through Buena Vista Street. I quickly got a locker because I had a change of clothes for Carthay Circle restaurant. I wanted to kind of like wear a sundress and dress up a little bit because, it is a nice restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So I threw my clothes in a locker and I blew through Buena Vista Street just really quickly going, oh my God, it's so cute, and made my way to Carsland. So once I, was done with Carsland, then I was able to really come back to Buena Vista Street and really take it all in. And I'm telling you right now that normally when I go to the Disneyland Resort, I'll go to California Adventure, I'll go to Disneyland, I'll park hop back and forth. But I feel like if I don't go to Disneyland and not go on Haunted Mansion, I feel like, I didn't have to. I don't know. Total opposite this time. I was so entertained by Buena Vista Street and Carsland and all the new things there that when I left that night, I looked across the Esplanade and went, bye.
No.
No desire to go over to Disneyland. Over there, that park? Nope. I was entertained. I was happy. I was like blown away by these thoughts I was having. But it was true. It was totally true.
I'm freaking out over here.
Yes. I mean, I'm not kidding you. It was just the changes they have made. They, in my eyes, in my mind, they have accomplished what I hoped that they would accomplish. They brought nostalgia. They brought heavy theming and not just a generic, tacky type of theme. It was a heartfelt theme and nostalgia, and everyone is just so excited to be there, and everyone's into their role, and it was just awesome. I kept saying awesome, and I knew it was overusing the word awesome, but that's all I could come up with because it was just so freaking awesome.
Okay, we're going to focus now.
Oh my God, yes.
Let's bring Liana into a sense of being, in a sense of place, because not everybody has done all this window shopping for DCA and knows exactly what Carsland and Buena Vista Street is. So let's go window shopping in DCA, shall we?
Yes.
All right, so what I want you to do, Liana, first of all, for a lot of our listeners who have been to DCA in the last year or so, they've seen a lot of the changes evolving, but most of the changes have been in the sense of the guest experience. It's been an inconvenience because you walk through the main turnstiles and you've had to go all the way to the right to as far as past Soarin' over California, and you come out kind of on the border there of Condor Flats and the trail to Grizzly River Run. No, it really is kind of anticlimactic, if you will. Exactly. There's no weenie to go toward, and now that's all gone. So take me now. We've got the entrance, which has been there for a while, which is the replica of the Pan Pacific Auditorium, which is gorgeous. Some have criticized Disney for cribbing the entrance to the East Coast version at the Hollywood Studios, but to me, it is so iconic of California, especially Southern California. It's fitting that they replicated that here on the West Coast. Absolutely fitting, especially since the Pan Pacific doesn't exist anymore.
Right, and I was geeking out heavily before they even let me in the gate because now all the construction walls were gone and you can see into the park, and it looks completely different. Nothing that was there before is there now. It's just completely different.
So take us now through the turnstiles. I want you to create kind of a verbal word picture for us. And you can do that to me because I, for one, did not do any of the behind the scenes. I want to do all of the behind the scenes stuff once I've experienced it in person. And what I think some of our listeners would know by now, after having listened to the show for at least 5 minutes, they understand that I don't seek out the Disney press passes. I don't seek out the pre-release anything because I want to experience the parks and convey my enthusiasm from the perspective of a day guest, which is exactly what I am. And when we talk about things, we talk about them not from a media standpoint, we talk about them from a fan's point of view, and that perspective creates a sense of enthusiasm and excitement for an anticipation for those that have not yet been. So that's what I want you to do now, is kind of paint a word picture for us of walking through the Pan Pacific Auditorium turnstiles and how it's different. We're no longer hearing these the 10-year audio loop. You get a little tired of hearing Bing Crosby and Nat King Cole. So what do you hear now as you enter and you're enveloped in this new environment?
Well, some aspects are similar to Disneyland's Main Street USA. They have, different buildings of the time period, which is around the late 20s, and like above the lockers, there is a dance studio. And up above there, you can hear someone tap dancing, discussing an audition they're going to be going on. Because this whole area is kind of supposed to be reminiscent of Los Angeles or Hollywood or that type of, town and that time period. Like they said, this is where they're bringing in the nostalgia, that this is the time period that Walt came to California. And it's all about a suitcase and a dream and just being young and eager for the future and having a dream and wanting to go out there and tackle your dreams type thing. And it's again, just awesome. Just, great theming. There's so much to look at, all the little details. Now, there are some things, like I said, that are similar to Main Street over at Disneyland. There are not necessarily windows that honor Disney legends, but there are certain things that do honor people. Like there's an art studio, and there's a little sign on the side of the building that lists different artists, and all those are the names of the 9 old men. And there's just all these cute little, just little things, like I said, very, similar to Main Street USA. And there is now transportation at California Adventure, the red car trolley line. And the trolley is big, bigger than I thought it would be. And they said that it is a replica of the original trolleys that did run in Los Angeles.
And they referred to them as the red car back in the day.
Right, and I did ride those, and it was great just to look around and, like I said, have some actual transportation. There are 3 stops. There's one stop near the lockers, and then it curves around the main plaza and stops over by the new wait times board, which I thought was extremely informational. And then it goes down over towards, the Hollywood section and has a stop in front of the animation building, and then continues down and makes a right and ends over in front of Tower of Terror. Mm-hmm. So it was a very nice, like I said, mode of transportation. And just a little side thing that they only allow the tiny type of strollers, like the little umbrella strollers, mm-hmm. to go on the trolley, not big ones. Anybody with the kids out there and want to know that. So
now I have to ask, because there is such a similarity in terms of the imagination between the red car that's in DCA now and the Jolly Trolley in Toontown across the Esplanade. Is
I wouldn't even compare them.
Well, that's kind of where I'm going with this. With the Toontown trolley, the way they had that set up, it wasn't really an attraction. It wasn't really transportation. It really didn't meet either need. And now that trolley is merely a photo op. They don't mm-hmm. use it anymore.
No, I would definitely view this as a mode of transportation, because it went a lot farther than I thought it would. Yes.
Okay, so there's nothing here that says to you, well, people are going to give this a skip because it's just not really relevant. It's just window dressing. They'll actually use it.
I think so.
Okay.
I think they really will.
What is the weenie when you... Now, I got to give some background because not everybody knows what a weenie is. They're thinking, ballpark Frank, plump when you cook them. A weenie is it's a phrase that Walt used. And the weenie for Disneyland, for example, is the castle. It's what draws your eye and says, come seek me out, come seek adventure, come towards me. And the weenie in DCA in the early going was the wave pool and the sun emblem. It's what drew you towards the center plaza of the park. Now, what's there now?
I would say there were 2. I would say that, the big weenie would be the Carthay Circle restaurant, only because it is tall, and the top portion of it is tall and your eye is drawn up towards that. And then the smaller would be there is now a central plaza that has a fountain.
Mm-hmm.
And with that fountain having literal movement of the water, that kind of catches your eye.
So just like you have the partner statue in Disneyland that creates that central hub, and then you have the castle beyond that, here you have the fountain and you have the Carthay Circle Theater replica behind that. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
And you mentioned the partner statue. California Adventure now has a similar statue, but in my opinion, I wouldn't call it a weenie because it's not literally. It's kind of in the center area, but it's not really something that you can necessarily see when you're walking down the street.
Is it understated then? It's not.
It is understated.
It's like a detail.
Yes, and you can walk right up to it and pose with it.
Okay.
It's not very large.
And this is the statue of Walt as he's fresh-faced coming to Hollywood for the first time. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Suitcase in hand.
Yes. Suitcase next to him, and Mickey is standing on top of the suitcase.
Oh, nice.
With him. And that symbol is on a lot of the merchandise, which I could, talk for hours about the merchandise. It's so funny because I was laughing at myself. I'm not much of a Cars fan, but I was like, oh my God, I want to buy everything they have in Carsland. And on Buena Vista Street, they're using this image of Walt and Mickey that they've made this statue out of.
Mm-hmm.
They've put it on cell phone covers, T-shirts, bags, magnets. They have a statue itself that you can buy. And I was like, oh my God, I want it all. And they had a new T-shirt too this weekend that I wanted to buy. They had a men's T-shirt that I was like, okay, I want that for Mark. But this weekend I found one for ladies that was V-neck. It had kind of a faded comic strip all over it, and then down towards the bottom was that same image of Walt and Mickey. And I was like, okay, there we go, something for the ladies. So they're really, oh my God, they're really tying everything together. This image, this statue, you have merchandise to go with it. It's just awesomeness. And it's, and like I said, that image was on more things than I just mentioned. I just thought of a couple more things it was on too. I mean, it's just everywhere. So, it's just amazing how they just tie everything together. But like I said, that whole area now just has a completely different vibe than what it had before. It's so... Now I think it's got more of a focus on exactly what its theme was. Before it was just California, but now it's more of a time period, a theme, what eyes you're supposed to be experiencing it from because of the time period. And I also, when I was there on Saturday, they have like a little opening spiel about how, a man in a dream and this type of thing. And I have to apologize that I didn't listen to it very carefully because I was trying to get in line for the fast passes for Radiator Springs Racers. I would have liked to actually really taken it in and listen to what they said. But like I said, it was just more of a tying of everything in, starting your day in this part of the park. And they're just kind of introducing you to what that part of the park is portraying. And it was just, and the stores are not cramped. They're well laid out. There's an awesome store on Buena Vista Street called Elias and Company, and it's kind of modeled after an old-time department store, and it's just elegant and, like I said, not cramped. I was able to walk around and not have to bump into a bunch of people, and it kind of flowed. That shop flowed all the way down Main Street, but it didn't flow to the sense where it felt like all one store. It's just that you could walk from one store to another and not have to go out into the street.
Mm-hmm. Just like you have in Disneyland, they're all tied together.
Right. But I thought it was, in a good way. But I just, like I said, the first day I got to go by myself. So I really just took my time and looked around and looked at all the merchandise. And the other great thing that Buena Vista Street is offering is entertainment. There were 2 different shows that went on, and we were able to, enjoy those shows, and they were just really, really cute. There's one kind of a jazz band that pulls up in this awesome car, and they come out and they do music, and they have a little bit of, spectator participation with singing and dancing. And then there's another show involving the red car trolley, which we thought, that kind of takes up, obviously, the red car trolley while they're part of the show. So I wonder if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because like I said, then you can't use that as transportation while the show is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like Newsies, the kids from Newsies.
Right.
They're with their pants and their suspenders and their little caps, and they're coming out and they're talking about the headlines and dancing around and singing. And then at the very end, Mickey comes out, and it's the new technology Mickey where he talks and blinks.
Right.
And it was very, very cute. And Mickey, of course, is dressed in the correct time period. And he's got a cute hat on and these big buttons with suspenders. And it's just very, very cute. Like I said, everything's tied together. And it's just such a different feel watching those shows. And then besides those shows, they also have streetmosphere people. They have an old-time cop, and he comes around and talks to people. And there's a girl riding around on a bike that gives out telegrams. And there was another lady that was walking around with a little dog. It was a little puppet, but it was a little dog. And they're just, totally in character, and they're talking to people. And it was just, they just did, like I said, an awesome job to completely transform that place. It looks nothing like it used to.
Now, you were mentioning a little earlier the Carthay Circle Theater. For those that are not in the know, why did they use the Carthay Circle Theater as the weenie for the new DCA?
I'm not sure why, but it looks great. It looks awesome. I do know that the reason why they wanted to put it in the park was because they felt like it was kind of an icon for, Disney history. That location is where they showed Snow White for the first time, where the premiere was held. So I don't know why they picked that, but I think it was a great choice. And it now, in California Adventure has a wonderful restaurant with a great lounge. So I think it's a great, place to, like, if you want to have an evening out or have like a date night or something, or get together with your friends and have a few drinks. I like where it's situated in the park. It's not so far back into the park. I like that, if you want to go there just for the evening, just to dine there, or like I said, have drinks with your friends, you can, it's easily accessible. So I really enjoyed our dinner there. It was nice. It was very pricey. It's not somewhere I'm going to be going every time, but the service was excellent. The meal was excellent, and we had a great time. And I hope the restaurant does well. I really hope it does. I hear that reservations have been booked solid for the next 3 months. So let's hope that continues. But I really, really enjoyed it there.
Well, I need to know because as you know, I'm a foodie. So what kind of food do they serve at the restaurant?
It's similar to the menu of Napa Rose. I had like a pasta dish with lamb, and it was very, very good. And it was just, like I said, it was, I would say, similar to what we discussed even for Club 33 and Napa Rose, that type menu.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So
is it that very, very level of quality? Because Napa Rose, to me, is the best restaurant on property, bar none.
Mm-hmm. I would say it was a small notch below Napa Rose, but not much. I mean, and that sounds negative, and I don't mean it to sound negative. I just think that, I don't know if it was our particular server, but they didn't seem particularly attentive to us, but we were so focused on talking amongst ourselves, and we timed it perfectly, because maybe about 10 minutes after we sat down, we were just inside, but close to the balcony. And when we went out on the balcony, the Pixar Play Parade was beginning, so we could watch the parade. So I don't know if they were just letting us be because we wanted to watch the parade. But, I just felt like we were, that the waitress really wasn't with us a whole lot. So I like to think that, she was just letting us be and not overly busy with other guests. So,
and part of that may be just the growing pains of the restaurant. This is something that is completely new, and every restaurant that just freshly opens, regardless of how well trained the cast members are, it's going to go through a period where not everyone really knows what the other, left hand not knowing what the right hand is doing quite.
Exactly.
But it's certainly not indicative of the quality of the restaurant the first few weeks that it's open. But, if you're saying to me that that they may not have hit their stride, but the quality of the food is there and it's got the potential, then we are looking at a really good, if not fine dining experience, at least something that evokes that idea in a theme park, which, with the exception of Club 33, which is inaccessible to most of us, that just doesn't exist in either park. There just really isn't anything remotely approaching fine dining. Would you say this is?
Yes. And the restaurant itself was gorgeous. I mean, beautiful details. And again, trying to, bring the nostalgia factor in. There were large pictures everywhere of Walt and Lillian dressed up for the premiere for Snow White. It was just beautiful, beautiful decor. They had some kind of private dining rooms. So if you had, an occasion that you wanted to have a group of people, just kind of a party type thing for a specific group of people, you could do that. And then they had, kind of the main dining room, and then they had a small dining room kind of off to the side, and that's where we were. That was right next to the balcony. And it was just a very, very nice restaurant. Like I said, it was pricey, so it's not something I'm going to be doing all the time, but I'm so glad that I got to go. It was like I said, a fun time to socialize with my friends and just relax and have a really nice meal. And a lot of times when you're at a theme park, you just do kind of the burgers and fries and run to your next attraction type thing. So this was really nice. Like I said, I brought, different clothes, so I changed. And, I felt like, this was a really special occasion and something fun to do. So, it was a lot of fun.
Would you say that the patrons of the restaurant actually took a cue from what you said you did, which has brought a change of clothes? Was the attire a little bit more upscale for the people that were there, or were they theme park goers and there was just as many people that looked nice as there were in shorts and a t-shirt?
There were, I'd say the majority of the people were in theme park attire, and I'm wondering if once things calm down a little bit, I wonder if when you're making your reservation, if I don't know what the tactical way of saying this is, but saying, maybe letting the people that are making the reservations that this is, a nicer restaurant. So you might want to, dress a little bit, accordingly to that. But I did see a lot of people in shorts and t-shirts. And I mean, I just kind of felt like it was a little bit nicer restaurant than that. But you're in a theme park, so you're going to get that.
Right.
So I'm not sure how they're going to get around that, or maybe they don't. I don't know. I don't know what their thinking is on that.
All right, let's go from the nostalgia-laced area of Buena Vista Street back into the newest area of the park that features attractions that have been, as far as the reviews that I have read, nearly universally lauded as fulfilling all of the obligations and the potential that this build-out, this $1.3 billion build-out has, that started really manifesting itself in 2010 with World of Color, and the 2 years since World of Color premiered, we now have Buena Vista Street, and we now have Carsland. And you really illustrated quite well for us what that the theming for Buena Vista Street is just well above par as far as execution is concerned of what the Imagineers had in mind, and that they spent money on it. Did they do the same thing with Carsland?
Yes, they did. I was hearing reviews of their e-ticket attraction, which is Radiator Springs Racers, and I was hearing the reviews for it saying that nothing like this has been done since Indiana Jones. This caliber, this quality, this scale, experience, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, all right, good to know. But I was scared to get my hopes up. And so then, like I said, when I, saw the ride-through of it, I was quite impressed. And for me, it didn't, like I said, it didn't spoil any of it for me at all. I in a weird way, I want to know what I'm going to see. I'm not really big into surprises. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't take away anything for me. So I was very, excited to see it on my own. And, seeing all the pictures and reading all the articles and seeing the videos, it's still completely different when you see it with your own little eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very, very happy. Now, like I said, I went that first Saturday with one goal: to ride Radiator Springs Racers. And so I, raced over. And since I was, I was there by myself, they do have a single rider line. And I figured, you know what, I'm going to head over to that first and then try to get a fast pass for it later and just see what I can accomplish.
Was that a mistake?
No.
Oh, do tell.
The secret. Okay, boys and girls, don't pass this around.
Don't tell anybody.
Just between us, you, me, and the listeners.
Both of them.
Yes. Single rider line is the way to go. In my experience, it was the way to go. I was able to ride it 3 times on that first Saturday. Single rider. And I think the longest I waited was about 45 minutes.
Now, are you missing something by going through single rider, like in the queue?
You know what? I'm sorry. You wait in the queue, you're waiting 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
Ouch.
Sorry. I don't care if they have Walt Disney himself in there. I'm doing single rider. Sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Can't be that exciting. So, that was the thing. And a lot of people were doing that. They were there with friends and they did single rider because it was just ridiculous how super crowded it got. After an hour and a half, it was up to 3 hours. After an hour and a half
really?
Of the park being open, it was up to 3 hours.
Oh,
so
my.
That's just insane. Now, after the first time I rode it, I was going to jump back in line on single rider. They closed single rider. They let it get up to a 60-minute wait for single rider, and then they close it. So I panicked. I went, oh, my God. So then I ran back over, and it is quite over, okay? Another tip for anyone that does come to visit Carsland: if you want a fast pass for racers, it is not near the attraction. It is over by It's Tough to Be a Bug. So the main walkway, as you're making your way to Carsland, before you get there will be a huge line to the left, and that's where the fast pass machines are for racers. So you get your fast pass there. Again, just between you and me, yes. Get your fast pass and then you go into Carsland. So if you're with a group of people and you want to ride together, but like I said, if you're single rider, head over there. So, but when I first got there though on Saturday, they were saying that it was down, and I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. This is my goal. That's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, Liana's goals are, I wouldn't call them written in stone, but she will trample over you in order to make sure that her goal is met. I'm just saying, she's a little person, but she will knock you down to get to her goal. Am I exaggerating? I don't think so.
No, not really. No. So yes. So overall, I was very happy. I did meet my goal, and so after I rode the attraction, then I felt like, okay, I can now go and look around and at some point go back to Buena Vista Street, because I literally just, like I said, blew through it. I was like, oh, cute, and then I was gone. So, I wanted to go back and give it the attention it deserved. But anyone that does, think, as to, game plan, goals, that type of thing when visiting Carsland, yes, get your Fast Pass first. And last Saturday, which was yesterday, I had a different type of trip. I brought my family, and yes, we definitely wanted to get fast passes because we wanted to ride together. And I was shocked at how more crowded the park was. Now, there were tons
really?
Yes, I was like, shoot, because I think what happened was that people went, oh my God, it just opened. We're not going. And then the next weekend, oh, it's been a week. Let's go. Oh. Because it was a lot more crowded.
Right.
So the day after it opened, when I got there at 7:30. They let us in about 10 till 8, and we walked right in. straight through. This past weekend, they let us in a little bit early, but stopped us at Carthay Circle Restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark's like, oh, they're not letting us in yet. I'm like, why? I came in early. And I look over to the left, and here's this line. And I go, what is this line? Oh, it's the line for the fast passes. Okay,
Ooh.
So I go, okay, Mark, give me and Lily's ticket, yours and Lily's ticket, and then I'll go get in line, and you guys just hang out, and I'll find you, because they didn't need to wait in line with me for the fast passes. So I go walking back past Carthay Circle, walking past Disney Junior live on stage, walking. I'm like, oh my God, where is the end of this line? It stretched all the way back, and it wasn't just one single line. They do that switchback thing, and they were doing the switchback thing in front of Disney Junior live on stage. They did switchbacking, and then it went all the way back, just past the animation building, and I went, oh my God, this is bad. And Mark was like, you're crazy, you're insane, we're getting here so early. And I'm like, you don't understand. We have to get here early if we want to go on this ride. And here I am thinking to myself, oh my God, we didn't get here early enough. Now, some people who were annual pass holders, if you signed up early enough, you could have early entry. 6:30 in the morning. No way could I get my family up and out to Anaheim at 6:30 in the morning. I figured, you know what, this was the best we could do. Mm-hmm. And this is the best we can do, and oh my God, we might not get fast passes. So I'm in line, and I'm Little Miss Social, and I start talking to people and stuff, and we're just chatting, and I'm like, I'm scared we're not going to get them. This is so many people, because at 9:30, 10 o'clock the Saturday before, the fast passes were gone, but the line was not this huge as this Saturday. So like I said, I was scared. So the line started moving, and I'm still chatting with people and moving. And so the closer we got, I started thinking, okay, I'm cautiously optimistic. So the first Saturday at 9:30 in the morning, my fast pass that I was able to receive, the cast members started scaring me when I was in line that day. And they said, you may not get fast passes, just letting everyone know. And I'm going, oh my God. So at 9:30 in the morning, that first Saturday, my fast pass, when I got it, was for 12 hours later. It was good for 9:30 that night.
Wow.
I was freaking out. I felt like I got the golden ticket.
I got a golden ticket. I got a golden ticket in my hand.
So this Saturday, when the crowd was so much more, I was like, oh my God, we're not going to get him. I'm going to feel so bad that I got my family up this early in the morning, and we didn't get to ride this stupid ride.
I can just imagine Lily's look, that look on her face of, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, and she's so cute. I tried to kind of be vague as to what I was doing the week before. And
right, how did that work out for you?
Yeah, it worked. Thank God it worked out well, because I told her, I said, I'm going to California Adventure, and I'm eat dinner with Daniel at a very nice restaurant. And she goes, a nice restaurant? And I said, yes, it's not for kids. It's just for adults. She goes, do they have French fries? And I go, no. And I'm thinking to myself, Mommy wishes they had French fries. But no. So she put two and two together. And when I came home that night, and the next morning she came into bed and she goes, okay, Mommy, tell me all about Carsland.
She's her mommy's daughter.
You're okay with it. Okay, I'll tell you. So she's been talking about nothing this week, but, going to Carsland. So yes, I was freaking out going, oh my God, if we don't get to ride this ride. So long story short, we got fast passes for 12:30 that day. So it was only
that wasn't bad.
3 hours. Yeah. It wasn't bad. Thank God. So yes, so we got them. And while I was in line, Mark and Lily rode Tomater's Junkyard Jamboree, which is the way I would describe it, and the way I've heard it described, is kind of like a kind of a generalized carnival ride, like a whip ride, like it kind of whips you around in your car. But that's the basic description. It's very cute. It's very themed. The themes, one of the songs that Tomater sings is almost stuck in your head, catchy, like Small World, but in a worse way.
Ooh.
I mean, most of the day I was going Radiator Springs. Oh my God! And he does the safety spiel in Spanish, and I about died laughing because he does it with his total accent.
We're talking
oh my God,
the Larry the Cable Guy is doing the spiel in Spanish.
Yes, he says things like su carrito and pequeños. Oh my God, I was dying. I said, if there are certain people that hear this and not obviously know that he's a character or from they're going to be like,
offended.
What the heck is he doing? Oh my God, I was laughing. I totally laughed out loud. So it's a very, very cute attraction. So there are 3 attractions in Carsland. Tow Mater's Junkyard Jamboree.
Oh, now what I want to hear is about Luigi's tires. The flying saucers come to life.
Yes, it's very, very cute. Luigi's Flying Tires. And the entrance to the ride, I thought it was a shop because all the pictures and video I've seen has been of the ride itself, and the ride itself is out in the open air. So when I was talking with my friend, I said, "Where's the tires?" And they go, "It's right there." I'm like, "Oh, I thought that was a shop." So when you first enter the queue area, well, there's queue area in front of the building, and then you go into the building, and of course the theme, the background of all the different, Luigi's cars, and everything's got a little backstory, and then you go out kind of on a patio some more and switch back and forth, and then you get out into the open air for the the ride itself out there. So, and then they have a neat spot to watch everybody ride because it is quite entertaining. I spent quite a big amount of time watching people ride, and people have been saying, "Oh, you're going to have to ride it 3 or 4 times before you get the hang of it." I didn't. You lean. You lean which way you want to go. You want to go backwards? You lean backwards. And people, you can't see me, but I'm leaning backwards right now. And then if you want to lean to the left, you lean to the left and you float to the left. So I don't know what people were saying.
Is it bumper cars on air? It is bumper cars on air, right?
Yes, but it's very gentle bumper cars. It seemed like the main object was to get a huge beach ball. They had huge beach balls all over the place. So everybody was leaning to try to get to a beach ball, and it was cute because the beach balls sometimes would all cluster in a corner. Mm-hmm. So everybody would get in the corner and start throwing the beach balls, and then they'd all move, and everyone would float over. So it was, it was very entertaining. It wasn't necessarily, in my opinion, it wasn't about bumping people at all. It was about getting the beach balls.
And I remember seeing footage from back in 1964, 65 of the flying saucers when they were in Tomorrowland, and there were beach balls on.
These are huge, huge beach balls.
Oh, that's
really
so
big.
Cool. Can you actually pick them up and throw them at other people?
Yes, and see, I was thinking it was good to have Mark with me because he has long arms, and it was very hard for me to get the beach ball because my arms are so short. So you need someone that's tall with you so you can get the beach ball.
Check. Got it covered.
Yep. So it was very fun, and like I said, it was even entertaining to watch people. There were these 2 ladies that were riding together, and it was so cute. They're like, "Lean this way, okay, lean back," because they were trying to maneuver to get to the beach balls. And I saw them later on in a shop, and I said, "Oh my God, I saw you guys. You were so cute."
How funny is that something so technologically advanced comes down to the simplest form of play with a beach ball? Yep. And it has such great appeal. Now, does Luigi's Tires adhere to the same theming and really carries it off? Is there a story behind it?
There's a story. Luigi has this, tire shop. And so, of course, there are, pictures and different little things in there that go along with the theming. And the music is Italian music, Luigi, and he's talking and saying about, he's all, "See how the people lean," and he's like trying to, to tell you how to, use the ride vehicles. And like I said, "Oh yeah, just lean, go." So, and like I said, it was very entertaining. I've never been entertained watching people on an attraction. Usually you'd want to be on the attraction. But for me, I was very happy with, watching people. And it was, both days that I visited, it was a gorgeous day. It was kind of overcast in the morning and then, burned off in the afternoon. So it was, it's going to be quite warm in Carsland in the summertime because there's really not a lot of shade. And that may be a negative thing for that land. And, there's really not a lot of negative things I have to say for that land, but because it is Carsland and it is kind of a Route 66 theme, you're on pavement for the main part of the area.
And the whole place takes place in The desert.
Exactly. And, that's an awesome thing. They have wonderful landscaping and cactus and different kinds of plants and rock work, but not a whole lot of shade.
Now, do you think that's forthcoming, that the trees that are planted just haven't had an opportunity to mature, or is it just not?
No, I don't think they're not. I just don't think they're there because they're not going to have these wonderful shady type trees because that's just not the environment.
It wouldn't fit. It wouldn't fit the theme.
Nope. Like sticking a palm tree. No, that wouldn't work either. They wanted to have, like I said, landscape that fit that area. So yeah, it's going to be very warm. I noticed there were tons of cast members selling drinks right out on the street, with lots of opportunities to spend your money. So, and just tons of, I could see kind of management type people with little clipboards. They were all talking amongst themselves. They were talking with guests. They were moving around. So many people, plaids, the tour guides, walking around and just like I said, the atmosphere there is very positive there too. A lot of the cast members are very, they'll answer all your questions because a lot of people have questions. Where's this? Where's that? A very popular question in anywhere in the park, but especially in Carsland, where's the bathroom? There is one bathroom in Carsland. So it's right next to Flo's V8 Cafe.
Sure.
So, there's the bathroom. So, it's just overall a very cute land. Some people thought that it was bigger than they thought it was going to be. I thought it was smaller than I thought it was going to be. So, me geeking out on my own, I spent easily 4 or 5 hours there, but my family, they were done pretty quickly. And we went back later on at night because there is a lot of neon. So it is a different vibe, different feel at nighttime. They have kind of like, not necessarily a lighting ceremony, but people kind of know what time the lights come on. And John Lasseter said that there was a song that is sun-liked, and when that particular song comes on, and I'm sorry, the name of the song has flown out of my head, when that particular song plays, that's when the neon comes on. And the music they play in that area is kind of oldies, 50s, 60s. Just a very fun vibe in Flo's V8 Cafe. It's very, 50 style kind of cafe. The girls are wearing cute diner outfits, and at one point they come out with this DJ car that plays music, and they're dancing around, and in front of Luigi's Flying Tires, they have these guys with little, race flags wagging them back and forth, and it's just, theming, and it's just awesome addition to California Adventure. It's definitely something that they needed. And like I said, with the racers, that is a big time e-ticket ride.
All right, let's get into a little bit of a behind the scenes called Creating the Sounds of Radiator Springs Racers. And then I want to talk about your experience on this attraction. We've obviously got the money tip for both of our listeners, and that is the single rider line is money. And beyond that, I want to get your take on the actual experience. But let's learn about the sounds of Radiator Springs Racers in Carsland.
Well, of course, they already sell a CD.
Of course.
Today we were trying to synchronize the sounds of the vehicle with the car, as well as the show that we were going through. We've been doing this for some time now, so most of that stuff is in. But today we were kind of putting finishing touches on some things that we've been unable to get to because we were putting in the big stuff. The whole idea was to articulate the sound with the vehicle. Instead of having one long linear track that plays through the whole attraction from beginning to end, you break everything up into little chunks. You essentially have a palette of sounds, and you put them back together as the car goes through the attraction. Then what happens is it comes back together in absolute sync with the vehicle, whether it's going slow or fast or whatever it is. So every little move, every little skid, everything is believable because it's what the car does at that particular moment.
Probably just a bad spark plug.
That's why it gets to be very cumbersome. It takes a very long time to do that. Kevin Rafferty and I started riding this the 1st of March. And last week we hit 700 runs. And we're not quite finished yet.
Okay, so you can imagine being an Imagineer on this particular attraction and going through the things 700 times. And among the things that make the Mouse Lounge, I think, a rather unique podcast is that what we try to do is evoke being in the parks by having either ride-throughs or a music experience or something that is orally fascinating from either Walt Disney World or from Disneyland that actually immerses you in the experience. And of course, Paul Berry's Window to the Magic does this exceptionally well, particularly when it comes to Disneyland audio. And I would strongly recommend that if you are interested in Carsland and the Carsland audio, please go download Paul Berry's Window to the Magic in order to get a sense of what the oral experience is all about. But this is why I played this particular clip, because the preconception that I have about Radiator Springs Racers is that it's really just test track brought to the West Coast. And I've heard many people just say, Gary, no, that is absolutely not the case. It may be the same ride technology, that you've got the vehicles that looks like a grown-up or a full-size slot car racer, if you will, because that's what it looks like if you've got a bird's eye view of the track. But the experience itself is so well themed that it's an animal in and of itself. So take us through, in the last 5-6 minutes that we have of the show, to through the experience of Radiator Springs Racers.
Well, like I said, it was definitely an e-ticket ride. You can see that a lot of money went into this attraction. I felt like they really did a fantastic job, where I felt like other attractions that have opened in the past that could have been this caliber weren't, and that kind of disappointed me. And what first comes to mind is Monsters, Inc. over in California Adventure. I just feel like that could have been such a bigger ride with better audio animatronics and that type of thing. I just feel like, why didn't they do what they were supposed to do and make it top notch? Now, this particular attraction, the Racers, they did it. They did it top notch. They did everything that, we would expect of an e-ticket ride. You've got a show building with awesome audio animatronics. You've got a storyline that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. You've got thrills. You've got, cute characters that are recognizable, part of the theme, part of the park. It's Carsland. You've got the cars, all the different characters. You've got awesome music that fits with the attraction, just like that guy was saying, that there are certain music and sounds that you hear during certain parts of the attraction. And what sticks in my head and in my mind was that conversation we had about Indiana Jones, that the audio track for that attraction fit so well with what you're experiencing at the time, what they wanted to show you at the time. It shaped your experience. And there is one part in Radiator Springs that reminds me a lot of Indiana Jones, in the sense of the music that they are playing when you see a certain part in this attraction just makes you go, oh, it was just awesome. Again, that's my word of the day, awesome. And it's for all ages. Lily loved it, and Mark loved it, and I loved it. And so it's for all ages. It does have thrills. It does have, something for everyone. And it was just a well done ride. I mean, it's what we have been waiting for. It was just the full on experience. It was just such a good job.
So let's take the whole of the upgrade. We've got Goofy's Sky School. We've got the new restaurants that are back in Paradise Pier. We've taken out Mulholland Madness, of course. We've taken out the laughable, I don't even remember what it was called, quite frankly, the thing that takes you straight up and drops you down.
I don't remember it either, but we should.
How about that? That's how forgettable it was. And I know both of our listeners are yelling. Yeah, Maliboomer. Right. That's right. I was thinking both of our listeners are yelling at their MP3 players. Maliboomer. We got it. Sorry to disappoint you. We've got, of course, the exquisite World of Color. We had Tron Electronica. Then the Electronica has now morphed into the new Mad Tea Party. Have you had a chance to see that yet?
I have not. I saw it. I saw it, but I didn't get to see it. It was after pretty much closing. So I got to see everything lit up at night, and it's more heavily themed than electronica. But no, I have not yet to experience it.
Well, we'll save that for another show. There really is. But we do have the Mad Tea Party now, which has gotten some very positive reviews from the people that I know that have attended the party. We've got, of course, the new Buena Vista Street, and of course the coup de grace, which is Carsland. And this is where I'm going with all of this, by giving you this laundry list. Now that we have all of this, now that the $1.3 billion has been spent, is DCA now realizing, or has it realized? Oh, I forgot Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid is now in there.
Toy Story. And
Toy Story, that's right. Midway Mania is in there. Has DCA now hit its stride? After 10 years of being open, 10 years plus, has it now reached a point where it is a all-day park worthy of the admission price?
I believe it is. And just very, very quickly, they added 2 other types of entertainment things over at Watercolor during the day. They have Goofy that does a little show with the water. So that's just another little added thing in terms of entertainment to go check out. And then what I was texting you about the other day, which was just so much fun, they have a dance with Disney Character Party, and over kind of near where the show building where Who Wants to Be a Millionaire used to be.
Back by Muppets and Monsters, Inc. right in there.
Right. They have a place with the DJ and lights and music, and you can dance with Disney characters. And Lily and I had the best time ever, because when you do meet and greets, you get to talk with the character for maybe 10 or 12 seconds, and they sign your autograph, and you take your picture, and you go away. This was a different type of character interaction. You know, they weren't necessarily doing, take a picture with the character. No, you can dance around the characters, and they had all this interaction, and the characters would come up to you, and it was just a really, really fun experience. And I think in the heat of summer, this would be a great place to take a break, let your kids run around, because the DJ was saying cute stuff like, come on, bring your kids in, let me wear them out. And nice. You can have great interactions with the Disney characters. And if you look on my Facebook page, I posted a ton of video of Lily just having so much fun with the characters. So they've really added a whole lot of things to, like I said, I felt like I was very entertained and very happy to spend a full day over at California Adventure. So
I think the verdict is, gang, that the new DCA is truly a thumbs up, and they've really exploited the opportunities that they had to grow the park in a very logical, fun, well thought out way to make DCA the full day experience that it should have been several years ago during the Eisner era. Now, we won't dwell on what could have been, the old Westcott argument and all of that. We're now realizing a new type of theme park, which has one foot in the past, in 1923, when Walt took his first steps into Hollywood and began his journey, to the future with all of the audio animatronics and new technology and ride vehicles that are now in place and now accessible to the public. So I'm going to let it go at that. We encourage you, of course, to go visit Carsland. In the meantime, stay tuned to the Mouse Lounge for more shows that are not just the Behind the Mickey Bar segment. We will be back with more shows, with more live audio and more history and more Waltisms and everything that you've grown to love and expect about the Mouse Lounge. It is forthcoming. I guarantee you that. More updates to the website and updates to the Disney podcast directory, which has been latent for the last several weeks. That's all coming up. But in the meantime, I hope that this episode that is specifically Behind the Mickey Bar with Liana Kilgore kind of whets your appetite a bit for the future and enthuses you to go visit Carsland and the new DCA. Liana, as always, thank you so much. You've created such a beautiful word picture for us. And for me, I can't be any more excited to get to Carsland and to enjoy the new experiences that opened on June 15th of this year. And until next time, everyone, Disney on.